Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. This is Kenyan Revolutionary for another quick session, late session. Poleni sana. My mic I just missed a couple of pieces of my mic. So I might be sounding a little bit funny. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, as I try to fix it very quickly. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me. I'm the guy. Bear with me. All right, let me see if I can get everything situated here because I'm all over the place. So bear with me. I'm trying to get everything. I hope I'm audible. Like I said, my mic is missing some pieces, so I can't. Okay, all right. I'll just rock with it the way it is, so we can continue. Anyway, karibuni sana, everybody else. I hope you guys are doing well. Let's just get this. I really want to speak about a few things. A lot have been happening in Kenya. As you know, we've had Sifuna and his nonsense that he was talking about. Not nonsense, but it is kind of nonsense to me because, as I mentioned to you guys in my earlier video today, that Sifuna, he's trying to save face. He's trying to, save his skin for future elections. Okay, he's trying to endear himself with the population so that when the coming election, if he runs for re-election in for the Nairobi senatorial position, he can have a chance. So that's why he's doing what he's doing. So that's part of the reason why Sifuna was said. But let me start with Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga, the poor folk, the guy is like 175 years old. He's having his 257th birthday next week. Nobody seems to be paying attention much to Raila Odinga. So I'll give him some, I'll give him some air. I'll give him some, I want to talk about him for a minute, okay? I want to review what he said, and I will use Ogunda's tweet because it pretty much gave us a rundown, a short summary, okay, of what Raila Odinga was talking about in the past. Okay, my friends have joined again. Hey, they're really working hard. I'll give them that. They are working hard. They do not want any progress. But their days are numbered, so never mind, ladies and gentlemen. The days are numbered. We have things going on, so we'll catch up with them. But anyway, so let us start by running some things. Let's read some tweets here. I want to read some tweets, and I will just I will give my view on the tweets that Ogoda. I told you, Gabriel Ogoda, this Raila sycophant, who's Opio Wandai's mistress. He pretty much summarized what Raila Odinga was talking about in that interview that he had. Then we'll come back to Sifuna. Then we'll talk about other stuff like the Eliud Lagat, the murderer who pretended that he was stepping aside, but he did not. We'll talk about that very quickly. And by the way, I will open the line if anyone wants to have this discussion. You are more than free to. We can have the discussion and have some fun. I'm yeah, I can see my internet fans up with new, but hey, we shall rock on. Some tweets. Start with Ogoda, Gabriel Ogoda, who is a staunch Raila supporter. Okay, we shall start with him, read his tweets, and then we shall react to what he had to say. So bear with me. I see. Hey, I'm telling you, Majama. Okay, let's get started. Before I get started, listen. Before I get started, the first order of business. If you already subscribed to this channel, the first order of business is to do what? Like the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that and hit the notification button. So every time I come in, we can always have a chance to talk, chat, do all the good stuff. If this is your first time, my name is Kenyan Revolutionary. I talk about Kenyan politics and world politics as it relates to Kenya. So let's get started. Let's start with Gabriel Ogoda. We are going to review what Raila Raila said on that interview. Then we'll come to all the other stuff that's happening in Kenya, all the news and all the wonderful stuff that's happening in Kenya. We shall review it and talk about it. Again. All right. I hope you can see the screen. Can you see the screens, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, and comments? I hope you can see the screen. Let me get started. Let me read it for you if you can't read. I will read it for you. So this is what Raila Odinga said in NTV a few days ago. I think this was June, 5 days ago or 4 days ago, okay? So 26 distinct points that he made, which I'm about to really quickly talk about. The first one, this is what Raila said, in quotes: "I am not worried about those who do not understand what I'm trying to do. I always try to convince them to see things the way I see them." This was in response to people who are saying that they do not want this whole intergenerational bullcrap that Raila Odinga came out with, okay? Of course, there's a backlash. Everyone is tired of dialogue. So people are saying, hey, enough of that. We don't want to hear about that. But hey, he's sticking with his guns. He's saying, I'm not worried about those who do not understand why I'm trying to do what I'm doing. I always try to convince them to see things the way I see them, okay? That's his response. The second one, he said, in 2023, there was a very violent reaction to our demonstrations, and we lost about 70 people at the time. The international community intervened, and we had a conversation with President Ruto that led to NADCO report. So he's telling us in 2023, remember, this was not too far long ago, like 2 days, 2 years down the line. This guy was out there. You know, if you remember, there were, High and Martha Karua, Kalonzo, and all those clowns were out there talking about they won the elections. We know they lost the elections, but anyway, people died, 70 people died. Same thing, we went to NADCO. But again, this is where the reporter did not press him. These guys get a free pass. Like I said, the mainstream media in Kenya are used to actually perpetuate the same nonsense that they want all these people to do. Hello, Brother Benson. I hope you're doing well. Nice seeing you, brother. Let me know if you want to say something. I will always put that link on if you have something to say. By the way, for those of you who don't know Brother Benson by now, Brother Benson have a channel just like this one. They talk about Kenyan politics with wonderful panelists, Marco Bura and Miguda daily. Go to his channel, check him out, subscribe, share, comment, do all the good stuff. Okay, so thank you so much for stopping by. So highlighted that they lost 70 people who died at those Mandamano Azimio, when they were talking about they have different figures, they won, Ruto stole the violent reaction that we saw in Nyalenda, in Kisumu, whatever the case is. We all saw that, so we know what happened. And now he's saying that the international community intervened and they had a NADCO report. The problem is the reporter never asked him, hey, what about this NADCO proposals that you guys came up with? What in those proposals, the agenda that was actually itemized in that report, which one were actually beneficial and implemented fully as promised? Whether it was the stop, the cost of living, which was a major issue. I mean, that's what they started out as protesting against Raila's victory. Then it kind of switched up to the cost of living is too high. Actually, it was the Gen Z already started this whole movement. They were kind of there were a bunch of people who were protesting in Nairobi about the water and the cost of living, and then it caught fire across the country. And Azimio folks say that, they're going to use that also as a reason to go out there and protest, not just because Raila Odinga had lost, but they joined in. And still, those were the main issue. If anything, I remember them being criticized, being told, hey, how about you guys prioritize the cost of living rather than, fighting for these positions or whatever the case is. Excuse me, I'm sneezing. Excuse me, guys. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that, with all these things said, Raila talking about 70 people died and all this stuff, and the international community intervened during the Mandamano, what was the tangible results that we can actually point at and say, hey, here's an improvement. There's less killings, there's an improved economy, the cost of living is now low, and all that nonsense that they came up with at that NADCO report. None of it have actually been actualized, okay? If anything, the one thing that they've worked on is the IBC amendment bill, which has nothing or no direct impact to the people. Well, it does, but it does not actually mean anything. It doesn't improve the situation, living condition of the majority of the people who are actually complaining about the economic situation of Kenya. So this amendment, this amendment, IBC amendment bill, was only designed, okay, crafted to help Ruto and this political class to take advantage of the already corrupt system, come 2027, okay? Because they maintain, I remember, Opia Wandai, among others, and Mbadi and whoever, the noisemakers at that time, they were saying that they have to have a say as to who gets to pick the new IBC commissioners. In fact, they even threatened the country. Basically, they, held the country for ransom, okay, saying that the president cannot go ahead and pick the commissioners without them having a say. And that's why we had this amendment bill, IBC amendment bill. And they passed it. It's actually a law right now. And they've, passed we have new commissioners, okay? So there are people who are collecting signatures. We'll see how that goes. I know, what's her name? Socialite Bimbo. She's the first name in the chopping block. So we'll see how that kind of transpires. We do not know how will happen. Let's go to number 3. Number 3, Oguda, this is what Raila said, the third point. Had the NADCO report been implemented earlier, we will not have ended up with the 2024 Gen Z protest, because the issues they were raising were very similar to the ones we were raising the previous year. So here Raila Odinga is telling us that, had the implementation of this NADCO report happened earlier, we won't have the problem with the Gen Z, protesting out there. Whatever happened in June 25th, 2024. Okay, because it's saying that the issues were similar. I would beg to differ with Raila Odinga. The issues that Azimio were kind of protesting for were very different from the Gen Z issues. In this sense, okay, like I mentioned, the initial protestation by the Azimio folks was never about the cost of living. It was never about the full implementation of the 2010 Constitution. It was never about extrajudicial killing. It was never about these issues that Gen Zs were saying. The initial protest by the Azimio was them protesting in their minds, in their opinion, the stolen victory of Raila Odinga in the 2023 elections. And we remember, after what's her name? The Chief Justice, whatever her name is, when she said hot air, it rubbed Raila the wrong way. I remember that meeting in Eldoret when the then ambassador to US to Kenya, Meg Whitman, when she said, this thing was fair and clear, whatever, and Raila Odinga said, this is a rogue ambassador. We remember these things, okay? So it was about the so-called elections. The Azimio refused to admit that they lost these elections, okay? They did not want to recognize Ruto as the president, and so forth, so forth. So when they started protesting, okay, the protesting were not really taking off, so to speak, okay, until there were few folks in Nairobi who started protesting against the, privatization of all the water in Nairobi, the big water bills and electoral bills, electricity bills, and the cost of living, cooking oil and all that stuff. So the Azimio folks took advantage and joined in with those folks saying that, hey, yes, this is what we are going also to champion. It is not only about election, it is about also the Ninio, the cost of living. Okay, so they kind of jumped into the bandwagon. Okay, so there again, Raila Odinga is being disingenuous. They were fighting for way too different things than the Gen Z. It was all about them. That's why why did they stop? I mean, if that's what the case is, if Raila Odinga is saying that they're fighting for similar things as Gen Zs, and that if the NADCO was implemented earlier, there would be no June 25th, 2024 Occupy Parliament thing, then why did they stop? Why did Azimio stop? Why? Because of NADCO? Because even NADCO itself, with all the implementation and all this stuff, it never stopped anything. I mean, it never solved these very issues that Raila Odinga is complaining about. He's saying they were fighting for. And if that's the case, then Raila shouldn't have stayed or, kept his side of the bargain, because Ruto never kept his side of the bargain, which was lowering the cost of living, stopping the extrajudicial killings, and so forth, so forth. So if they were fighting for the same thing, then Azimio folks should be on the streets right now. ODM, Azimio, all that stuff. They should be on the streets right now along Gen Zs fighting for the same thing. So he can't sit there and say, oh, if this was implemented earlier, we would have averted that Occupy Parliament 2024 June 25th. Okay, because if it was still going on, like we all know it was going on, he should have been with the Gen Zs in the streets regardless, and he would not accept any MOU by UDA. So stop it, Raila Odinga, stop it. Okay, number 5. There was a danger ultimately that the military will take over. We were almost on the brink of that happening at that time. That was going to create a state of anarchy in our country. This I cannot verify. I do not know if the military were about to take over. But if the military were to take over, I think that will actually, even if the military were corrupt or whatever the case is, it will have stabilized the country for the short term, because we reached a point where the Gen Z didn't care about Ruto nor the parliamentarians, the legislative body, or even the judiciary. Because remember, in June 25th, 2024, they occupied the parliament, okay? And the next move was to occupy State House and also the judiciary. A clear indication or a clear illustration that demonstration that really is sending a message of faith in all the arms of government that we have in Kenya. Okay, so if the military will have taken over from the so-called head of state and all the arms of government, it will have brought calm and peace. Okay, because now the very people who are the very reason why we were agitating for these things, who have failed us, have been removed. So if the military take over at that moment of time, it will have brought some semblance of peace. We would have given the military some time, wiggle room to show us what they can accomplish, because it was clear that the Kenyan people were telling their representatives that you failed us, okay? And now we want you out. That's why we are coming to occupy the parliamentary building, which is a symbol of the legislative body. We are going to occupy State House, which is a symbol of where the head of state resides. And we are going to occupy the judiciary, the Supreme Court, and all the courts, in saying that justice does not work for all of us. So that was what was happening, and that's why that happened. So here, Raila, again, he's not making sense, in my opinion. So there was no anarchy. If anything, we have anarchy right now. We do have anarchy, okay? We have peace, but there's anarchy, okay? We have all these people getting killed, people being disappeared, people being all those stuff, okay? Thank you so much for liking the video, Gypsy Corner. Nice seeing you again, my dear friend. So Raila, miss me with that, okay? All right. 6, in the charged environment, President Uhuru Kenyatta called me. He was in the US and suggested that although he knows I did not want to talk to Mr. Ruto, in the interest of the country, I needed to find a way of talking to him. Again, we can't, I don't know, that's something, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I don't see it, because to me, you seemed happy to sit down with Ruto, and you shook his hand. He helped you run to AU, and he paid you the hefty sum to do all that stuff. So I'm not quite buying that reason, Raila Odinga. I do not trust that reason. But for whatever reason, whether you talk to him or not, I don't think that's an easy cop-out. That's a easy reason to give just for people, try to absolve yourself from blame, no, I don't. But again, for us, Wananchi, we can care less if you talk to, if Uhuru told you to go talk to Ruto, or whoever told you to talk to Ruto. We just do not want you and Ruto and the rest of the political class. We want all of you gone, okay? So that does not play any, it's not winning any hearts with, you're not winning any hearts with that, okay? Number 7, I did not have to eventually look for Mr. Ruto. He asked that he wanted to come and see me and agreed that we could talk. I was very clear to him and told him that these Jay-Z protest issues had come up because you had refused to implement the NADCO report. And under these circumstances, we must have a broader conversation that must bring people together. Now, again, now he's trying to shift. Raila is trying so hard to play both sides. He's trying to shift the blame squarely on Ruto, saying, okay, I didn't, because the number 6 one, the 6th point, you see, he was saying that it was actually Uhuru Kenyatta who was in the US and asked me, and he knew I did not want to talk to Ruto, but he's the one who persuaded me to go sit down and talk to Ruto, even though I didn't want to. Then here he says, it was not me looking for Ruto, it was Ruto looking for me. And again, he's trying to get away from the blame. I like what this one gentleman who said, Raila Odinga wants to be the president without responsibility. That's what it is. Raila wants to be part of government, but when people start pointing at the government and the failures of the government and, every messed up thing about the government, Raila wants to say, oh, no. I was only offering experts, I was offering experts, but he didn't want to listen to me. So that's his failure. That's not my failure. Just like he did with Uhuru Kenyatta after the handshake. He was basically a co-president, just like he was the prime minister during Kibaki, okay? Once things fall apart, it's always, I was just offering help, but you know what? They did not want my help. They were not listening to my advice, so I had to dip. But the truth is, Raila Odinga, once you join hands with Ruto, you are conjoined twins, okay? The same blame Ruto gets, the same blame you will get, because you told us you offered your experts to go help out Ruto. We can see now how Mbadi is running rogue, okay? I mentioned Mbadi has gained weight, he's fat, and he's squeezy hajaparara vile alikuwa ameparara. He's living the life, okay? He's living life. So again, Raila Odinga, you are being disingenuous. Nobody's buying this crap, okay? No one is buying it, okay? I'm sorry. We are not buying it. We are not boarding. Number 8, he was reluctant, Raila is saying, he was reluctant in the beginning, but eventually agreed to discuss the issues in contention. But of course, these were rejected by the Gen Z. That is, that it was a waste of time. At that time, the country was at stalemate. So again, he's saying that Ruto was also reluctant. Which one is it, Raila Odinga? You're telling us that Ruto was the one who was looking for you, and he's the one who was seeking to talk to you. And then again, you're telling us that he was reluctant in the beginning, but eventually he agreed to discuss these issues in contention, these contentious issues that were supposed to be discussed. Now you're telling us, make up your mind, Raila Odinga. Please make up your mind. I know you are 157 years old, but you need to make up your mind. Which one is it? Number 9, I myself was against the broad-based government. Oh, really? This is a new one. I have to finish reading this one. I myself was against the broad-based government, and my Azimio colleagues at the time were also against it. But eventually, the group within my party, ODM, felt that we could find a way of going into steady the sheep to prevent the country going into a state of anarchy. So again, he's trying to tell us that, hey, listen, we were reluctant. We didn't even want to have this talk. Ruto was the one looking for us. Uhuru Kenyatta is the one who was telling me to go talk to Ruto. I wasn't even feeling it. But you know what? Since I'm an angel, I care about this country. We are such wonderful people. You know, I was persuaded by the Junet Mohammeds of this world, Hassan Joho, and the other pinheads. They came and talked to me. I'm like, yo, Rylan, go talk to that man, okay? Go sit down with him. Okay? Have a coffee or something, okay? Have some mursik or whatever the case, whatever you guys do when you get to status, okay? Go talk to them, Go talk to Brando, okay? Go talk to him. Really, Raila Odinga? You expect us to believe that? Really? Okay, all right, yeah, okay. You can have that, Raila Odinga. You can have that. Okay, number 10. I have come out to openly criticize the government when human rights violations have happened because our position as a party is very clear on these matters. Okay, hold up, wait a minute, wait. Okay, so your biggest thing is, okay, you care about human rights so much, Raila Odinga, that whenever this government is involved in abusing individuals' human rights, civil liberties, and human rights in general, you get so outraged that you have to come out and you spoke out publicly condemning these human rights violations. Okay, if you really, really care about human rights violations, okay, you don't like the fact that some Kenyans were brutalized, extrajudicial killings that happened, abducted from their homes, shot to death, found their bodies, dead bodies found in Kware, whatever the case is. Why can't you tell your panel of experts that have joined up and became part of this administration? Why can't you withdraw them and say, hey, listen, Ruto, we cannot no longer go ahead. We can no longer keep on working with the government that orders the killing of innocent protesters. Why can't you come up and give such ultimatum to Ruto? Come out and say it loud and clear in front of the Kenyan people. Tell him, listen, Ruto, we've warned you about these extrajudicial killings. We've warned you about these abductions and the gross human rights violations that everyone has witnessed. And for that matter, we as Azimio or ODM or whatever the case is, we have to come to a conclusion that we cannot be party to a government that violates Kenyan human rights, the rights of civilians. Then withdraw from this so-called MOU if you really mean it, if it is something that really bothers you. But no, you want to pull a Sifuna. I guess Sifuna is learning from you. You want to come out on record, give a press conference somewhere, calling the Gideri media, to get you on camera so that you can say, you know what? It's on record that I spoke and condemned in the harshest terms possible. I condemned the human rights violations that were committed by this administration, an administration that you donated your panel of experts to do what? To continue with this human rights violation. Because guess what? Odinga, this is how we are reading it. If you offered your panel of experts administrative work of running the state, but Ruto is busy abducting, killing, brutalizing, torturing innocent civilians, protesters, you are also liable, Raila Odinga. You are just as guilty as Ruto himself because you did not take a stand. And I'm not talking about You should come out and say, this MOU, we are breaking off from it because we cannot be part of a government, okay? We cannot have our people, our members of our party, be part of a government that violates Kenyans' civilian human rights of majority of Kenyans, especially innocent protesters. That is how you go about it. Don't tell us that you gave a statement condemning the government. Oh, it's on record. Show us with action. Say, I'm not going to be part of this nonsense. Okay? It is as if, let me give you another example. If I am, it's 1944 or 43, Hitler is invading Poland and is committing all kinds of atrocities across Europe. And I say, oh, Hitler is out of hand. Let me donate my panel of experts to help Hitler, and maybe he will stop the atrocities that he's committing. And while he continues brutalizing and killing people, I go out and say, I'm condemning all the killing of the Jews, of the 6 million Jews. Well, that is up for the debate, but that's a topic for another day. But I'm saying, oh, I'm against it. I'm against it. I'm against what Hitler is doing. But I'm donating. I have my panel of experts to help Hitler govern. Now, when Hitler is overthrown and is being brought to justice, guess who also should be on that stand? Me. Why? Because I offered a panel of experts to help Hitler commit atrocities. I cannot stand before the judge and say, oh no, I already condemned it. I was on record condemning the atrocities, the abhorrent human violations committed by this administration, while I had my panel of experts who are there being part of a regime that is committing these atrocities. Do you see that, Nenio? So, Raila, you are not making sense. If you mean what you say, then get out of that MOU. If you really mean it, don't tell us that you're giving press conference and you're condemning the administration. That's the point I'm making. But anyway, let's move on because we have a bunch of it. Okay, so don't tell us I have openly come out to criticize. No. That's not. Jackson, I am for real. All right, number 11, let's go. On the issue of compensation for the victims of extrajudicial killings, we have said this must happen. And shortly, you're going to see what is going to happen. The compensations are going to start through the contingency fund. I am tired of this nonsense. I am tired of this talk. It's all about talk, Raila Odinga. You know what? We've been asking for this compensation ever since. Remember those days when, you know, the 2007, 2008 post-election violence happened? Did anyone get compensation? Okay, scratch that. Let's move to 2017, when Uhuru Kenyatta and Matiang'i, who is now running for president, unleashed the Mungiki, was killing your supporters, Raila Odinga, in Kondele, okay? Brutalizing them, killing people in dumping bodies in Rivanyal. We've been asking for compensation. You never even attended one funeral of those supporters of yours. So this talk of compensation, I saw you guys in 2023 after Ruto sent his goons to brutalize people in Nyalenda, okay, during the Azimio protest, okay? I saw you guys went and pretended to be condoling with the victims, but you didn't even go to Nyalenda to condole with the people who died. You went to Karen of all the places, red carpet and everything, Kalonzo Musyoka and Uhuru Kenyatta and all this, pretending to be condoling with the folks who died, who were brutalized in Nyalenda. Oh no. But still, compensation is on its way. Really, Raila Odinga? Really? We've been waiting for it since 2007. It's been what? More than 10 years? What? It's oh, stop it. Stop it. We are not buying it. Come up with a new lie. I guess the lies of anyway, whatever. Meeting of the ODM party last week. Sorry, we had a National Executive Committee meeting of ODM party last week in which we took a party position on the issue of continued abductions and extrajudicial killings. I am not going to divulge into details what we discussed, but in a nutshell, we agreed that there's a red line within which must not be crossed. And if it gets there, we are going to take a decision. So all these extrajudicial killings are happening. Oh, you had a meeting with National Executive Council Committee of ODM saying that there's a red line. I don't know what that red line is, but there's a red line that if it's crossed, oh, hiyo itakuwa imetosha. What other red line do you need? The whole NADCO thing was about what? Stopping the extrajudicial killings and abductions. That was part of the discussion then. You'd say these are similar issues as Gen Z. Well, that is what you guys discussed then, right? Did Ruto stop after those NADCO talks? Did he stop with the abductions and extrajudicial killings? No, he did not. He continued. And you even, not only did you condemn or trash the NADCO report, you went ahead and joined him in an MOU, a working relationship. What other red line do you need? People are dying. Blood is flowing in the streets of innocent Kenyans whose crime is only to protest, agitate for positive change. What other red line do you need, Raila Odinga? Don't tell us about your National Executive Committee. We don't have time for that. I'm sorry. Save it for somebody else. Thank you. 13, if you're going to do demonstration, we must want other people whose businesses are privileged to, if you're going to do demonstration, we don't want other people whose business are private to be affected. And this is how it happens all over the world, not just Kenya. Or really, Raila Odinga. Or all of a sudden, private businesses are so important. Remember Azimio? When you're in Nairobi, when people are trying to go to work, carry out the business, and you're telling them, hey, musifungue hapo. Come on, Raila. At some point, you need to stop. You need to stop, Raila Odinga. At some point, you need to stop. Please stop. Stop it. You're being ridiculous at this point. Oh, now listen, I remember when in 2017, when ODM, Raila's affiliates, okay, whether you call him NASA or whatever the case is, they were protesting. The protests were huge, and Jubilee hired a couple of people to defend the Nairobi business community. I remember that. They were wearing fatigue and they were walking out there, army fatigue, and they were walikuwa najifanya majeshi wameunga, wanasema msijaribu hapo. And the ODM folks were really upset about that. They were saying, kwani nyinyi biashara yenu ndio is more important than the rights of Kenyans. Oh, now things have turned. Now you care about the businesses now. Oh, now you've become them. You're like, oh, so now you care about the business. You're private business. Oh, yeah? Okay. So, okay. People must talk. This is number 14. People must talk when there is a crisis. People must find a solution to the crisis. If you don't find a solution to the crisis, you create anarchy. Duh. I mean, anyone can say that. 15. You can have suggestions on how you intend to dialogue to. You can have suggestions on how you intend this dialogue to happen, but you cannot run away from the fact that we need to talk to each other about the issues currently going on in our country. I don't think we need to talk. It's not like we don't know what we need to fix. Okay? Ni kama umeanza kupika ugali na unasikia kama ugali inachomeka. Lakini wewe badala uninio uzime moto na utoe sufuria kwa ninio, unasema ati we need to have a dialogue about how this Kenya that ugali is burning. We need to have a dialogue. We need to talk. People, intergenerational conflicts, we need to talk about what we know. Switch off the ninio, now save the food. What's there to talk about, Raila Odinga? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Again. 16. My suggestion is that this dialogue starts from the grassroots, at the polling station where everybody has the right to assemble. They discuss the issues that affect them at that level and then elect their representatives to go to the next level, the ward level, and then to the sub-county, county, and eventually coming to the national conclave. That's not a dialogue, because you want people to pick representatives to go. Isn't that the whole purpose of the National Assembly? The MPs. That is what should happen. I mean, do you know what do you know how the government functions, Raila Odinga? Isn't that the whole point of how we should govern, how our constitution works? Isn't that the point of having public participation? And by the way, it won't be effective because these discussions that are happening in grassroots, the one you're talking about, when you have these representatives that are coming with the issue to the national level, they will simply be what? Bought off by the people at the top in the political class. We do not need a dialogue of any kind. We know what is needed at the grassroots level. We know what is needed at the national level. On all levels of government, we know we have a constitution in place that spells out boldly how we should govern ourselves. We do not need national conclaves and all this nonsense that you're spewing, Raila Odinga. The fact is, the representatives that we picked, well, most of them we didn't, but the ones that are supposed to represent our interest have failed, starting from the national level down to the ward level. They've all failed their compromise. So what the Gen Z are saying, it is time for a total overhaul of the system. And the decision to do so will not be dependent on this very corrupt, senile, rapacious wolves that call themselves representatives, whether it's MPs, whether it's the president, whether it's the judges, whether it's the MCAs or governors. The Gen Z are saying, we want all of you out, including the opposition members, United Opposition bullcrap that are making a lot of noise. All of them out. After we get them out, we, the people who are the sovereigns, get to decide who will replace you at that point after you have exited the office. We do not want this conclave nonsense. Ati tunapik mtu hapa, alafu tunapik mtu hapa, alafu tunapik mtu hapa, alafu anaenda kwa bedroom ya Ruto, wanafungana huko, alafu they come up with the solution. No, the solution is in the constitution. And the people have this sovereign say on how we are supposed to chart our way, our future. So don't come with this conclave nonsense. We are past that. We conclave enda kwa weke kwa bedroom yako. We don't need it. 17. The issues will not be solved by Ruto going home, because Ruto may go home, then you have Gachagua there. Tomorrow you'll be shouting Gachagua must go or Kalonzo must go. So we must find a way of dealing with these issues once and for all. Thank you. I agree with you on that. Ruto, Gachagua, Kalonzo are a product of the corrupt system. Even you, Raila, you're a product of this corrupt system. So all of you must disappear. Muende. mutoke nyote, hata wewe Raila, waendeni nyumbani, so that sisi the people tuchague vile tunaendelea mbele. Nyote nyinyi muende. Okay? That way we don't have to worry about the next person taking over. Tutasema, sijui nani must go, nani must go. We have to clean the system, toward this whole rotten system. Na hiyo taka yote kama ya kina Sifuna na Wamunyoro na Ruto na Kalonzo na Martha Karua, all of them. Number 18, we don't want to hear about Ruto, Raila, Kalonzo, or Gachagua. We want to talk about Kenya. Let's talk about issue rather than personalities, about issues affecting Kenya. We have talked about these issues until the cows have come back. And the people who are supposed to help resolve these issues have refused. They are continuously violating the Constitution. So it is not time to talk about the issues, nor is it time to talk about the personalities. It is time to remove all you dead woods, you so-called leaders who are nothing but tribal chieftains, conmen and women, starting with you, Raila Odinga, Ruto, Gachagua, Munyoro, Martha Karua, Kalonzo Musyoka. It is not about the time to talk about the issues. Tumejua shida ya Kenya ni nini. We know the problems in Kenya. It is not time to talk about personalities. It is not time to talk about issues. We already know them. Shida ni inatokea wapi. Shida ni nyinyi. Constitution iko hapa, hamtaki kuifuata. Sasa kama hamtaki kuifuata na nyinyi ndio mlichagua timu fuate hii, muimplement hii constitution na mmekataa, sasa nyinyi ndio mtatolewa. Sasa ni nini to discuss hizi issues? What are we talking about? Na umejua shida ni nini? Na tumejua solution ni nini? You guys are the problem. Okay. Number 19. When you say you don't want dialogue, then what are you proposing to be the answer to these issues? We still have 2 years to the next elections, and these issues aren't going to die away. And how many people are we going to lose? Were you thinking about how many people can you lose when you are going to Maandamano in 2022 and 2023? Were you thinking about how many people you're going to lose when you're going to Maandamano in 2017? All of a sudden, you care about how many people we can lose. You pose the question, if you don't want to dialogue, what are you proposing? I have just told you what I've proposed. My proposal for you, Raila Odinga, is for you to shut the heck up. Talker, stop talking. Move to Southern Sudan. Tell Kira kupatie shamba. Please change your name. Change your name to Raura Oginga or something, whatever. Now your whole clan. Uchukue Mbadi na wewe and the whole ODM. Gachagua, the same. Toka wa Munyoro uende huko Congo. Martha Karua. Enda Kismayu, I don't know where, Somalia, somewhere. The solution is, on a serious note, is this. All of you failed politicians of yesteryears and the present representatives of all arms of government and independent, constitutionally mandated institutions, starting from the president and the whole cabinet, the whole legislative body, starting with the MPs, senators, the whole judiciary, starting with Koome, Chief Justice, going down the list, with the exception of a few, go to the governors who are stealing money up and down, MCAs, women reps, all of them must go home. All of them. Starting from the president to all of it. That is the solution. Because they have totally refused to respect the Constitution. We've given them years and they've refused. In fact, they are showing us their middle finger instead of working for us and representing our interest as a people. We, the sovereign people of Kenya. Unasikia? That is what they're doing. So since you failed in your job, including you, Raila Odinga, please, muende, mutoke nyote. You failed flat as an opposition, as people in the government of all levels. Tokeni nyote. You either move peacefully, mutoke kwa upole, or not. And don't tell us there's 2 years to remain. You had more than 2 years to demonstrate to us that you are capable and willing to represent the interests of the people by legislating laws that are in line with the Constitution, that implements the Constitution fully, by to the executive branch, whether it's the presidential level and the governors. But you failed. Instead, you are eating with the MPs. You are eating with the senators. You are eating with the women reps. You are eating with the MCAs. You are looting, committing atrocities, pretending the plight of millions of Kenya. That is what you're doing. That is what you're doing. So since you've demonstrated, because remember, Raila Odinga, let me remind you, I know maybe you are now up there in years. Remember, this problem did not start with Ruto. It started in 1963. At some point, you were part of the young Turks who were trying to change things. But you failed. You joined the ruling class, the ruling elites. You're part of it. So it has been going on for 60-something years, or whatever the years are, 50 or something, whatever the video. But you still want us to give you 2 more years of this nonsense. Why should we give you even 1 more day in office? No, it is well overdue. So please, leave peacefully, or we are going to remove you, whether you like it or not. It is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. And it will be a messy business. And it won't, you won't emerge victorious once we are done with you. Because the anger that is built up for those years, when these Kenyans, sovereign Kenyans, get a hold of you, that is the day you shall regret being a public official. Because none of those private jets, those worthless shillings that are printed by Wazungus. None of those cars that you enjoy, air-conditioned cars that have flags in them, none of those people who are clapping for you shall rescue you on that day when the real revolution get their hands on you. Understand that part. For now, you can play dumb. Let's go on before I lose my train of thought. 20, I have an idea to President Uhuru Kenyatta and Kalonzo Musyoka. I talk to Kalonzo every day. Even yesterday, I talked to him about it, and he's having what we call a wait-and-see attitude. I talk to Martha Karua all the time. I talk to all of them. I told you these guys are in one WhatsApp group. They're telling those folks, pretend to be this, pretend to be representing your people, pretend to this, let's have this fake beef, then to let them is also, then we shall sit at the table and we create the constitution that brings us both together. Nothing new here. 21. I have not said that I am running for presidency in 2027. We are in 2025, and it's too early to talk about 2027. We have said that we are in the broad-based government until 2027, but we haven't said we shall work with UDA beyond 2027. List of our problems as Kenyans. 23. The individuals in ODM already speaking about supporting William Ruto in 2027 are making those statements as individuals, and they are entitled to it. None of our business. 24. Me and Steve Kalonzo Musyoka are friends. We share a number of issues, and I've got a lot of respect for him. He has not asked me for my support for 2027. None of our problems. 25. The reports that I'm currently wooing Kalonzo Musyoka to join President Ruto for a joint ticket in 2027 is totally rubbish. Not true at all. I have not asked Kalonzo, nor have I asked Ruto. Those are issues that will be discussed at an appropriate time. None of our problem. We don't care. Last but not least, how was I a co-president in Uhuru's government? I did not get anybody appointed. None of my people were appointed into Uhuru's government. What did I get? I got nothing. Really? You got nothing, eh? You got nothing. Let's stop carrying us for fools. Please, don't insult our intelligence. Do not. Don't insult the intelligence of Kenyans. Do not. Please, 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 please. So yeah, that's what the whole interview was all about. A bunch of nothing. Just Raila Odinga tried to save face or, clear up his name as somebody who's not really fully involved with Ruto. He's wishy-washy about it because he knows if things go left, like I said, just like was Sifuna is doing, right? The ODM folks, they want to enjoy the goodies that the corrupt government has to offer, but they also want their one leg out in case things go left. They always want to say, oh, we were speaking about this government. We were not fully into them. We were just there trying to stabilize things because Gen Z were about to take over and the army were about to take over and we didn't want anarchy, blah, blah, blah. Just a bunch of nonsense, okay? So that's the game plan for these guys. They're trying to, they just don't listen to this thing. So that's why I like this statement by this guy, Lin Jiru. He told us some time back, and it's something that we always have stated here, that these guys are one. They are not. There's nothing new with them.
All those are cousins. There is one thing you should remember: that your dog and the jackal you are hunting, and the wolf you are hunting, all those are cousins. They can turn against you. There is no difference between Deputy President William Ruto. There is no difference between him and Raila Odinga, and Uhuru Kenyatta, and Kalonzo Musyoka, and Musalia Mudavadi, and Munde Awori. First of all those people are political cousins. they can turn against you. That is one clan. There is one thing you should remember.
So I hope you guys paid attention to what she said, because he told you that all of them are political cousins. So next time you hear Gachagua say, "Hi, cousins," he's not referring to you. He's referring to his political cousins. I tell you, haya nyinyi mkaeni tu hapo mnafikiria ati this guy is favoring you. No, he's not. He's only. But okay, so let's just go about something else. There's so-called Sifuna's what is it called? Sifuna's statement that that the statement that Sifuna made when he was talking to Okwara. What is her name? Okwara? Julie, whatever her name is. Yeah, that one. Uyo, ndio Uyo. Okay. So just to give you a snippet. By the way, the names of the politicians who are allegedly stockpiling weapons in North Rift for election violence in 2027 have been released. Number 1, Farouk Kibet. 2, Dr. Kipkoech Muge. 3, Alfred Kapondi, MP. 4, former MP Moroto. 5, MP William Kasait Kamket. 6, Oscar Sudi. 7, MP Musa Sirma. 8, First Lady Rachel Ruto. 9, MP Kimani Ichung'wah. That's according to, what's this guy who's is stationed in France? I forgot his name. I keep on forgetting his name. But anyway, I'll come back to him later on. Okay, let's listen to Sifuna just for the shits and giggles. Sifuna had something to say, of course. Sifuna was with Okwara. I listened to it a little bit. The funny part that he was talking about. So let's hear from Sifuna. Sifuna, again, not to sound like I'm a broken record, but I explained to you why Sifuna is a charlatan, okay? But he's doing so to maintain, save his skin, survive, because the tides are kind of against his political party. They're not in they're not the darlings of this in this political atmosphere. So he has to do what he needs to do, not to seem like he's part of the mess. Okay, so here's Sifuna. He was talking to the lady who I can't quite get her name, and my computer is like dragging, so we are going to pray about it. And hopefully we shall get some here it is.
For possible leadership in the country as we go forward, because it's very clear we're in a one Kenya opposition. I'd like us to maybe talk about each of them. So there's Dr. Fred Matiang'i, who has expressed interest in the top seat in the country. What do you think of him as a solution going forward?
First of all, as a leader of a political party, I am inclined to think of myself first. I must think of ODM first. ODM is not has not run out of leaders. ODM has not run out of ability to produce presidential candidates. So why are you sending me there? You should have started with my own political party.
Let's go.
But I will tell you this.
We'll get to ODM. We will get to ODM.
My view about 2027 is that there will be no room for sentiment. The project of removing William Ruto does not allow for sentiment. We will not work with angels. They are angels. National priority project of removing William Ruto does not allow for sentiment. So Dr. Fred Matiang'i has his faults. And, you know, that's why I said, I referred that respects the rule of law of those too. Because they say a leopard never changes its spots. Your history is who you are. If you are died in the wool canoe hawk from the 90s, you know, Yvonne, when we were kids, when multi-party was coming, I was about 10 years in 92. They used to tell us that if you flash the 2-finger salute, they will cut 1 finger. Who are those people who are telling us those things? These kind of youth wingers here who are in power now. From that time. So examine the history of everyone. Fred Matiang'i has his faults. But if he's going to help us remove William, but if he's going to help us remove William,
that's when well, the video has stopped a little bit, but that's where I kind of I was like, all right, this guy is a nitwit. Really, okay, but anyway, that's just that. So I already talked about that, so let me not repeat myself. I think I made my view known about that kind of statement. So yeah, again, a very good, entertaining character who was responding to. Let me just go. Let me just put this in context, because maybe some of you missed this, but Oscar. let me not play this. This is too crazy. I spoke about these videos a couple of days ago, but you know, if you remember Wamunyoro's statement the other day when he said something that was really kind of rough.
Since William Ruto declared war on the mountain, the economy is almost collapsing because people have stopped paying taxes, people have stopped investing, they are waiting for a new government. The way you are holding your money here, that is what people are doing in Kenya. Even ourselves, we do biashara kidogo kidogo, tumeshika kidogo tungoje mambo ibadilike. This is a community that is responsible for the growth of the Kenyan economy. And that is why you are successful here, because that's the way we were born. We are very aggressive people. We are very enterprising. We are very outgoing. And that is why we are in every town in Kenya. That is why here I have done some check. 80% of the diaspora brigade in the United States are people from the mountain. Because that is who we are. We are very aggressive people. Hard working, we focus. I want to ask you, you have a lot of influence because those families, those people they listen to. In the space we are, we must stay the mountain, east and west. Men wanaweka kando, hii ingine anaweka kando, anagawa watu ya Nakuru. I told him you can't do that because I knew if I allowed him to divide the mountain, we are finished. He'll sit on us the way Moise sat on us for 24 years. So I refused. And I must report to you that I have successfully managed to keep the mountain together. It is so united, it has never happened since independence. The mountain is one. The Merus, the Embus, the Tharakas, the Mberes, the Kikuyu, we are talking one language. And we are all staying together and working together. I must say I was very happy when I came to Seattle. And when...
All right. So that was Wamunyoro. Let it be known that he's basically the king of... Now, this is the James Oswago, ex-IBC CEO, that explained the 7 ways that the government used to rig elections. I will play that in a minute, but I just want to bring the response by Oscar Sudi, who came out and, was responding to Wamunyoro.
Unataka kuambia watu wa mlima wasitumie pesa ama wasijenge ama wasifanye chochote, wakungoje wewe? Wewe Wamunyoro, wewe Mkabila, wewe wakungoje wewe? I think you have a mental problem. Usiweke watu wa mlima kwa mtaro. Na mimi nataka niambie watu wa mlima, mkifuata huyu mtu mtaingia kwa mtaro yenye itakuwa shida sana kujitoa. Yani you want to push watu wa mountain against 46 tribes. Is that possible? Wamunyoro, yani unafikiria sasa ukipiga ngoma makofi ukisikizwa ati unasema ati waongoje serikali gani? Serikali ya nani? You will be shocked, my friend. You will be shocked. Hata sioni hii kura ikifika. Yani wewe unaweza hata jicompare, yani ati sasa unaambia watu hati mungoje. Waongoje nini? Waongoje nani? Wakifanya nini? Alafu na waulize nyinyi watu wa mlima, hii mtu mupeleke hospitali kwanza, wenye wako US hapo. Tafadhali take your time, ambia yeye mtu aenda apime ubongo, apime pressure, apime sukari, apime tu. That guy is sick. Best. Wewe you will be shocked, my friend. Utashangaa sana. Utastuka. Kwani wewe unafikiria sisi ni wa kwanza ama wewe ni wa kwanza? Hii inji ni kubwa bwana. Wacha ukabila. Ukabila inakusukuma sana wewe. Usisukume tu watu wa mlima kwa sababu hawana makosa yote. Na hii serikali ya William Ruto ni ya watu ya mlima. Na nyinyi watu wa mlima mwezi tengeneza serikali na mfuate mtu kumbavu, mtu wa bunwazi, mtu kublale fucking. I don't have any respect for that guy. Nilikaa na yeye, niliongea na yeye, nilijaribu. Mnasemanga ati hata sijui nini, lakini huyo sasa ni empty. Anaongea tu hapo. Fuata historia yake. Mtu blale fucking sana.
Okay. Gypsy saying, I'm finding it hard to conclude this video if it comes across very one-sided. What do you mean it's one-sided? One-sided in what sense? I kind of don't understand. Why is it one-sided? Like politically speaking, or this is funny. If Oscar Sudi starts calling you bloody, I don't know what, just know that things are rough. You really got under his nerves. But let me bring Brother Benson. Karibu brother Benson. Siku mingi.
Siku mingi, habari gani?
Mzuri.
Umepotelea wapi?
Mimi niko tu.
Umeamua kuwa shughuli, utaki kututembelea sisi. Tunakuona. Unajua sasa ile Kiswahili tunasema tunakuona.
Unaniona
Habari gani lakini?
Mzuri. Niambie yote.
Mimi niko salama. Niko tunaangalia jinsi mambo inaendelea. Na pia tunatoa mchango wetu tusikie kama mchango wetu inaweza kuwa ambayo inaweza jenga nchi, ama mtu anaweza chukua uamuzi, ama kuna pia wale ambao wanaweza puzilia, lakini zote sisi tunachukua.
Naam. Sasa maoni yako vipi? Nasikia Sifuna amejipata mahali pabaya, so atafukuzwa ODM, ama matamshi yake wewe unaona ni matamshi ya mtu ambayo maybe akona akili tamamu, ama ni mtu ambaye akona uchungu fulani anataka kujitoa katika chama cha ODM?
Sidhani, kwa sababu mimi naamini, kwa sababu hata kama umeangalia kwa kweli, ulikuwa unapata kwamba alikuwa ile maneno yake yote alikuwa anafanya, we call it allegiance, zote zilikuwa zinaenda kwa baba. Inamaanisha kuwa, kwangu mimi inamaanisha kuwa maneno ambayo alikuwa anasema ni maneno ambayo ilikuwa imetengenezwa nyuma ya pasia. Kwa sababu kumbuka, hii ilikuwa inakuja baada chama mwenye chama mwenyewe, tuseme kwamba Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga alikuwa ashakuwa na mahojiano. Na ukiangalia mahojiano ya Raila, actually ukitaka kuangalia kwa historia yake sana sana katika siasa, unapata kwamba mahojiano yenye alifanya na kituo kikubwa, watu walikuwa wanasema kwamba ni ile mahojiano yani hajawahi tokea, haikukuwa na msisimko mkali. Na hii ilikuwa inatokana, hata ukiangalia wale watu ambao walikuwa wamepata nafasi kuiangalia katika mtandao wa jamii sana sana, ulikuwa unapata kwamba idadi ya watu ilikuwa chini ukilinganisha na tuseme kwamba kwa mfano sana sana kama saizi kama Rigathi Gachagua angekuwa akona, tuseme kwamba angekuwa akona mahojiano kama hiyo, ungepata kwamba idadi ya watu ambao wanatokea kumsikiliza kwa mtandao wa jamii ni wengi. Lakini ukiangalia idadi ambao ilikuwepo kuangalia TV, ilikuwa takriban ilienda juu ya almost like around 13,000. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa the highest, which has not happened. So hiyo pia inaweza kuwa. So watu wanasema kwamba haya yalikuwa tu ya Sifuna, ni kama maneno ambayo ilikuwa inakuja kuua ile msisimuko na vitu ambavyo watu walikuwa wanaongea, kwa sababu unapata saizi mambo yake ambayo alikuwa amesema, hata vitu ambazo alikuwa amesema saizi watu waongelei. Watu sasa wamekuja wanaongelea mambo ya Sifuna, unaona. So hiyo ndio mimi naamini kwamba Sifuna alikuwa anaongelea, alipata ruhusa ama alipata idhini kutoka kwa Raila Odinga.
Sasa acha nikuulize hivi, maana tulikuwa na Secretary General aliyetoka ODM si mwaka uliopita, lakini zamani hapa, tuseme mwaka wa 20 na ngapi, 2007, yueto nani, Ababu na Mwamba, kama wamkumbuka.
Namkumbuka vizuri.
Ababu na Mwamba naye before aondoke ODM, Ababu na Mwamba alianza kutoa matamshi ambayo alikuwa haiko laini na the official position ya ODM party, waelewa. So alianza hivi kama Sifuna, maana namuona Mbadi leo alisema kuwa alimwambia Sifuna kuwa wewe usitoe matamshi ambao haujaambiwa useme, waona, maana sisi bado tuko na Ruto, na wewe waja hapo waenda hapo kwa waenda mtandao na kwa hizo vipindi vya habari ukisema mambo ambayo hatukubaliani nayo. So unaweza sema kuwa maybe Sifuna pia anafuata hiyo Mwenendo ndani wa Babu na Mwamba.
Hapana, unajua ukiangalia katika historia ya ODM, mtu ambaye alitoka kama tuseme kwamba Secretary General wa party ambao alitoka tu bila tashwishi ni Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. Kwa sababu ukiangalia katika historia ya ODM, watu ambao wameshakuwa Secretary General ni Anyang' Nyong'o, alafu tuko na Magerer, alafu tuko na Sifuna. Na tuko na Babu alafu Sifuna. Hawa wote sana sana Anyang' Nyong'o alitoka kwa hiari yake na kukuwa na maneno. Ukikuja kwa Babu na Mwamba, unakumbuka wakati ambapo Babu na Mwamba anatoka, kulikuwa na kampeni ambao watu walikuwa wanataka kuchukua nyadhifa mbalimbali za chama. Na ukumbuke Agnesani hapo kalikuweko na Hali Hassan Joho na Babu na Mwamba ni watu walikuwa katika kikundi kimoja. Alafu ulikuwa unapata Gerald Otieno Kajwang' pale pia walikuwa na kikundi kimoja. Na hiyo ndio ilitokea kwamba Otieno Kajwang' alisema fidelity and loyalty to the party. Unajua hapo ndio alitoa hayo kauli. Na hayo kauli kilitolewa walikuwa wako na labda fununu kwamba Babu na Mwamba alikuwa anafanya yama alikuwa na uhusiano na wapinzani. Unapata hiyo? Ndio wakati ambapo walikuwa wameenda kufanya uchaguzi nyadhifa za chama, wale wanasema vijana ambao walikuwa wamevaa nguo nyeusi, men in black. Walikuja pale, mambo ikaharibika. But kutokea hapo maneno hiyo haikuzungumziwa, Babu na Mwamba katolewa. Sifuna mwenyewe hakuchaguliwa, ni mtu ambaye alichukuliwa tu akawekwa hapo. Na hiyo inakwambia historia ya vyama zetu ambavyo sisi tuko nao. Unapata kuna nyadhifa mbalimbali ambapo hauwezi patia tu mtu yote ambaye amuamini. Unapata yule mtu ambaye unamwamini na siri zako, na ule mtu ambaye unaamini anaweza sema maneno ambayo mafikira yako kama mwenye chama. Kwa sababu ujue chama zetu ni chama cha watu binafsi. Kwa karatasi ni chama cha umma, lakini kihalisia ni chama cha watu binafsi. Kwa sababu wamechukua muda mingi wakitengeneza hizo chama zao. Huwezi kuja tu na uvuruge. So ukipata nyadhifa kama ile ya Sifuna umepatiwa, inamaanisha una imani na mwenye chama, si wanachama. Wanachama wataongea walivyopenda, lakini mwenye chama kikataa, utaenda. So mimi naamini kuwa kwa sababu Sifuna amekuwa akiongea hivi si mara ya kwanza. Kauli kama haya amekuwa akisema, lakini unapata kwamba mwenye chama asemi kitu. Mpaka siku ile walikuwa wanazika mwenda zake Ong'ondo Were. Ndio siku hiyo baba alisema kwamba huyu ni msemaji halali wa chama, lakini alimrai usiende, tuliza kidogo, usiwakanyage sana. Unaelewa hiyo?
Naelewa.
So mambo haya si mageni. Mimi naweza sema kwamba mambo haya yalipikwa nyuma ya pasia, tukapakuliwa kwa mtandao. Haya.
Naona ulipata alama 100 juu ya 100 katika insha. Maana Kiswahili yako ni nzuri sana na nafurahia kusikia ukizungumza Kiswahili. Lakini acha kuulize hivi basi. Maoni yako vipi ikikuja kwa matamshi ambao Babu Owino alitoa leo? Ilikuwa leo ama jana? Maana mimi naiona hivi, nasema hivi. Nilisema Sifuna kusema matamshi yake ambayo alitoa leo jana, na watu wakaanza kusema maybe Sifuna anataka kuondoka katika chama cha ODM. Alafu Babu Owino naye alikuja akasema nini? Mwaka wa 2027 mwaka wa uchaguzi atawania kiti ya ugavana huko Nairobi, na yeye hajali kama chama chake watamsupport ama wasipomsupport, yeye atawania huo kiti. So mimi swali yangu kwako ni hivi, mbona mtu kama Babu Owino aseme awe na matamshi kama hayo akijua kwamba maybe hawa wanajua wengi hao wanasiasa ambao wametoka ODM, maybe wengi wao wanamwangalia Babu Owino kama kijana ambao atachukua hiyo kiti ambao Raila Odinga akiondoka kama mkubwa wa ODM. Wanamwangalia Babu Owino kama mtu ambao ako na sifa, anapata sifa sana kutoka kwa whether ni huko Nyanza ama Nairobi. vijana wengi wanampenda Babu Owino. Sasa yeye kuja akisema kwa katika kuwania kiti ya ugavana hapo Nairobi na hajali kama watamsupport manini, hiyo ni kumaanisha kuwa maybe anaangalia utabiri wa hali ya hewa ya kisiasa, na akiangalia Nairobi kuna pale kuna kuna hizi tribe mbalimbali unaona. So na wafuasi wengi wa ODM wametoka kwa Luo Nyanza, unaona, Wajaluo. So maybe Babu Owino anasema si wahitaji hawa watu wa wafuasi wa ODM, maana najua vijana wengi wa ODM wananipenda na vijana wengi wa Nairobi pia wananipenda. So hiyo support ya ODM si lazima niwabembeleze wanisaidie kushinda hii kiti, naweza kuingangania mwenyewe. Na pia nasema hivyo kwamba pia Sifuna maybe alisema alitoa hiyo matamshi akijua kwamba ikija mwaka 2027 mwaka uchaguzi, ukiangalia Nairobi vijana wengi wa kutoka hao sehemu yao ya huko Western na Wakikuyu na hizo kabila zingine ambao si Wajaluo watamsupport akijiondoa ODM akaenda hiyo pande upinzani. Unaonaje hiyo theory?
Unajua siasa ni hali ambao unaangalia mawimbi na mawimbi ya siasa. Unaangalia siasa inachukua mkondo gani. Babu Owino unajua ni mtu ambaye amekuja na ujeuri wake mwenyewe kwa siasa ya Nairobi na sana sana kwa siasa ya ODM, kwa sababu kuna kauli ambayo Babu Owino amechukua ambapo wengi wa ODM si rahisi vile kuchukua. Kwanza ilifika wakati ambao walikuwa wanang'atua aliyekuwa naibu wa rais Rigathi Gachagua. Babu mwenyewe akasusia. Na unapata hii ilikuwa ni kauli ya chama. Hata Edwin Sifuna ambaye anazungumza alipiga kura kumuongoa, kwa sababu hii ilikuwa kauli ya chama. Na unapata kwamba alienda kinyume na sheria na kauli ya chama. Na ni nini alikuwa anaangalia? Labda alikuwa anaangalia madhara ambayo itatokana na kuenda kupiga kura kwa jamaa, kuangalia kwamba unapata kwamba ile nguvu ya idadi ya watu ambao labda wanaishi Nairobi wanatoka pale Mlima Kenya. Labda alikuwa ameangalia, kwa sababu lazima ukuwe mtu anaangalia, ukuwe na mtu ambaye ako na dhamira na unajua ni nini nakuja. Sasa yeye alikuwa anaangalia miaka 10 zijazo, jambo hili itakuja kunisaidia ama haitakuja kunisaidia. Hiyo ni jambo la kwanza. Jambo la pili, Babu pia ni mtu ambaye amekuwa katika uongozi wa vio kwa muda mrefu, ambapo watu wengi ambao unapata kwamba wanapenda hiyo siasa yake ni watu ambao walikuwa katika chuo kikuu na wanaelewa namna na mbinu ambayo ya hiyo siasa yake ni siasa aina gani. Na unapata kwamba hao ndio wengi wao ni watu ambao washatoka na ambao wanatafuta kazi. Sasa alikuwa anajua kwamba mimi niko na idadi ya watu ambao sana sana hawategemei sana chama cha ODM, lakini wanapenda jinsi mimi napiga siasa. Na wengi wao wako Nairobi wanatafuta kazi, hawajapata kazi. So naamini kwamba mimi nikisema kwamba ndakuwa naenda kuwania ugavana, hawa wote watu watanipigia kura. Na jambo la muhimu pia labda ilifanya Babu akasema kwamba atawania ugavana, kwa sababu ukumbuke Jalango mwenyewe kuna siku alikuwa na mazungumzo na bwana Alex Makideo, akasema jambo moja kwamba Babu atachukua Nairobi. Nakumbuka Jalango unajua ni wandani wa Rais William Ruto kabisa. Sasa kama mbunge ambaye yupo Nairobi na yeye badala yeye mwenyewe aseme kwamba mimi naweza kuwa governor, lakini anasema mbunge mwenzake, inakumaanisha nini? Inamaanisha hata yeye mwenyewe pali anaotembea katika eneo lake la bunge amepata fununu ama akona jambo kwamba huyu jamaa ni hatari. So tukikuja pale pa ODM kwa saizi iko na mambo mengi ambayo inafanya watu wajibu waweke maswali mengi, kwa sababu ukiangalia ODM kuna dhana ile inasimamia ni watu ambao wanapigania haki za watu ambao wako katika maisha ya chini, wanasema kwamba unaona ile wanataka watu waishi maisha mzuri. Lakini ukiangalia kauli ambao wamechukua leo, ambapo Babu Owino mpaka wa leo amekubali kukua ndani, ni kwamba kuwa kama mtu ambaye anakuwa ni kama mwanachama ambao anaweza kuwa anauza sera za serikali ambao wako katika ile salamu za heri, serikali ya salamu za heri. Ni mtu ambaye ametoka kimanzomanzo na amesema kwamba hapana. Na unapata kauli hiyo watu wengi wanaipenda kwa sababu kulingana na ile kazi ambayo serikali wanafanya, unapata kama wengi wa watu ama idadi asilimia kubwa ya watu hawana imani na serikali ambayo iko kwa mamlakani, labda kwa sababu wanaona kwamba kuna huduma ambao serikali wenyewe hawapatii. Sasa kwa Babu kujitenga nao inamaanisha kuwa huyu jamaa anazungumza lugha ya wengi ambao ama wale wahohehae ambaye wapo ambao wanapata changamoto kwa maisha ama kupata huduma za serikali. So hiyo inamsaidia pakubwa sana. Sasa tukikuja katika Edwin Sifuna ambao watu wanasema kwamba Edwin anaweza toka, mimi nakwambia naamini kwamba Edwin haezi toka, kwa sababu ulisikia jambo alisema Edwin, mimi ndatoka tu kama yule mtu ambaye alinichukua akaniweka hapo atakuwa ameniambia mimi nitoke. Unaelewa hiyo?
Naelewa.
Ndio maana hata ulikuwa unaona yeye anazungumza alikuwa na ujasiri. Na baadaye akasema kwamba mimi ndafurahi kwa sababu nimekuwa hapa kwa miaka 8. Hata huyo mtu ambaye anakuja yeye pia kuja afanye tuone matunda yake. Sasa mimi naamini kwamba Edwin Sifuna kwa mtazamo wangu Edwin Sifuna anazungumzia wazo kubwa la baba. Hawezi zungumzia wazo lake.
Mimi alinishangaza vile alisema kuwa hata kama ikitubidi tumtumie Matiang'i atusaidie kumuondoa Ruto, basi tumtumie Matiang'i. Hiyo ni kumaanisha nini? Maana wafuasi wengi wa ODM wanamwangalia Matiang'i ni kama adui, maana wanakumbuka Matiang'i vile aliyowafanya huko Rivayala na upande mwingine wa Kenya. So vile Sifuna alisema hivyo ni kuwa watu wengine walikuwa wanaiangalia ni kama anasema anajaribu kujipanga ama
kujipendekeza, tuseme hivyo.
Kujipendekeza ndio. Kujipendekeza na wale watu wa United Opposition. Ni kama anawaambia msiwe na hofu, naja mtawana. Maana ODM, chama cha ODM saizi ukiangalia watu wengi hawafurahi na ODM kwa sababu wako na serikali ambao Wakenya wengi hawaitaki. So maybe Sifuna pia anajitenga, kiangalia anasema mimi kama senator wa Nairobi kijaribu kusimamia useneta tena huko mwaka ujao ama mwaka wa 2027 watu hawatanipigia kura, so acha nianze kujipendekeza na hawa wanasiasa wa upinzani.
Hapana, mimi kwa kauli hii alisema mimi niko na mtazamo tofauti. Kwanza ndaichukulia kwa siasa zetu za Kenya ni kwamba siasa zetu ni siasa zenye hazina msimamo na msingi. Unajua? Kwa sababu ukiona kwamba anasema anakubali, kwa sababu hakuna mtu ambaye siku moja alikaa katafakari kwamba kuna siku ambayo Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga kisiasa tu ati Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga anaweza kuja kufanya kazi na Mheshimiwa Ruto. Hakuna, ama UDA wakuja wafanye kazi na chama cha ODM. Ni kitu ambacho hakuna mtu ambaye alikuwa ametafakari baada ya watu kutoka katika uchaguzi. Lakini hayo mambo yanafanyika katika siasa zetu, kwa sababu siasa zetu ni siasa ambayo haina msingi. Unapata kwamba ni kwamba tu labda kama kuna nyefu ama tuseme kwamba kuna ile nyama ambayo unaweza pata kama kuna nyama ama kuna ile tunaweza sema kuna jambo ambalo linaweza tokea, utapata nafasi. Ndio maana unaona ukirudi nyuma miaka 2002 wakati ambapo watu walikuwa wanapiga kura hakuna, ukiangalia Gachagua na Kalonzo Musyoka, hawa ni watu ambao siasa zao zilikuwa ni siasa za tofauti sana. Hakuna mtu alikuwa anajua, hata Bi Martha Karua hakuna mtu alikuwa anajua kwamba Bi Martha Karua kuna siku ambayo atakuwa pali pamoja akichapa kampeni na Rigathi Gachagua. kulingana na matamshi ambao wenyewe walikuwa wameweka kisiasa. Na kwa sababu wimbi ya siasa inabadilika na unaona mteremko iko wapi, itabidi uende. So hiyo ni kauli moja. Na kauli ya pili ni kwamba Edwin Sifuna anaonyesha dalili kuwa hata baba mwenyewe ikitokea atafanya kazi na Matiang'i. Hakuna shida. Hata kama uko na shida, labda uko na dosari, haijalishi sana. Bado tunaweza fanya na wewe kazi. Hiyo tutaweka kando kwa mfuko, tutakuja kuizungumzia baadaye. Lakini tuone kwamba yale matendo ama yale tuseme kwamba yale ushindi sisi tunataka kupata, tutaifanyia kazi tupate ushindi. Hayo maneno tutaongelea tukishapata ushindi, tumwambie tushapata ushindi. Sasa unajua wewe, kuna wakati ulikuwa hapa tulikuwa tunasema wewe uko hivi na hivi, hii mambo sasa inafaa uache, tutairekebisha vipi? So ni siasa tu zetu tu za kuigiza. Unajua siasa zetu ni siasa za kuigiza, ni filamu tu, si siasa za halisia.
Yeah. Haya, naona nasikia Kiswahili ndani. Haya, swali la mwisho acha nikuulize hivi. Wamunyoro, mpaka tumwongelee Wamunyoro. Wamuonaje? Maana mimi namuona ana nguvu za kisiasa. Ukiangalia Mlima Kenya ni kama vijana wote wapiga kura huko wanampenda. Na yeye kushikana na Matiang'i na Kalonzo, Martha Karua na wengineo na hata Western Province. Unaona kama watu wengi wapiga kura wengi wa kutoka Western Province wanasema kihistoria hao upiga kura pamoja na watu wa Lake Nyanza. Lakini sasa ni kama Eugene Wamalwa, Matiang'i wanaona kuwa maybe tunaweza mpigia Wamunyoro. Na mimi naangalia hivi nasema maybe Wamunyoro yaweza kushinda, maana watu wengi hawamtaki huyu rais. Alafu pia vile umesema Raila naye anaweza kusema kuwa mimi pia nitajitoa, naweza kufanya kazi na Matiang'i, so hatuwezi jua. Waonaje Wamunyoro anaweza shinda urais ama yeye ni makelele tu na siasa ya kikabila?
No, siasa unajua siasa ni hesabu. Yeah. Unajua kama zingekuwa ni zile nchi ambazo zimeendelea kidemokrasia, kuna maswali mingi wangeuliza, kama wewe ni kama ushang'atuliwa mamlakani kulingana kisheria au uwezi kuwania ama kugombea urais. Na venye tunazungumza na wewe sasa hivi ni kwamba baada hawezi kugombea kwa sababu labda ako na kesi kotini, unaona, ambayo
kesi yake haijakatwa.
Bado rufaa bado haijakatwa katika kesi hiyo. So jambo la kwanza, kitu moja lazima tujue katika, tuseme kwamba Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua. Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua unajua ni mtu ambaye anarekebisha makosa yake kisiasa ambayo alifanya. Ni mtu ambaye amesoma mazingira, yani ni mtu ambaye amepata mafunzo yake kwa mazingira ya siasa, kwa sababu ukikumbuka wakati ambapo walikuwa wanaungana na Rais William Ruto, ni kwamba anasema kwamba rais alimuaminisha kwamba yeye pia ni mmoja wa chama. Unaona, akasema kwamba mimi nakuamini, hakuna stakabadhi, basi sisi tutatia mkono. Mimi nakuamini kwa ile maneno yako ambayo unasema. Kwa sababu wewe mcha Mungu, mimi mcha Mungu, basi hakuna haja sisi tuweke sahihi. Lakini akakuja kugundua kwamba kwa siasa mambo kama haya haipo, kwa sababu hakuna urafiki wa milele na kuna adui wa milele. Akagundua hayo, akapata kwamba kama mimi nataka nikuwe mtu ambaye anaheshimika katika mlingo wa siasa ya Kenya, lazima nikuwe na chama yangu. Lazima pia nitafute watu ambao watakuwa nyuma yangu, nikuwe mfalme wao, ambao mimi nakuwa ni kama msemaji wao. Na ukiangalia mfumo za siasa unapata kwamba kama siasa zetu ni siasa ambao ni za hisia. Sasa unapata kwamba ukienda pale eneo la Mount Kenya, atakuwa na ushawishi mkubwa, na hiyo sitaki kukudanganya. Atakuwa na ushawishi mkubwa kabisa, hata idadi ya watu atapata tuseme kwamba wagombea wabunge watakuwa ni wengi. Na mimi nasema hivi, angalia idadi ya magavana sehemu za Mount Kenya. Ni mgani ambao labda umeona, ukiangalia mgani ameoja amekuja kwa uwazi akaanza labda kutofautiana na Rigathi Gachagua kimawazo? Mimi naweza sema tu ni nani, au wanaongea tu ndani ya moyo wao. Kuna mtu ukiangalia Irungu Kang'ata hajawahi ongea vibaya juu Rigathi Gachagua. Ukiangalia Kimani wa Matangi hajawahi ongea vizuri kwa vibaya kwa Rigathi Gachagua. Ukiangalia pale ule kutoka Nyeri Mutai, ule wa Laikipia, yule tu amekuja aswa kukosoa Rigathi Gachagua ni Susan Kihika. Lakini unajua tunaita kwamba au ni Mount Kenya ya ugaibuni. We call them the diaspora. Unapata hiyo? So hiyo inakuambia ushawishi mkubwa ambao Rigathi ako nayo. So kitu ambacho Rigathi hata kama haezi kuwa rais, lakini ni mshawishi mkubwa katika siasa. Na jambo ambalo anapigana nayo sasa kwa sasa hivi, kwanza anataka kuwe ni mtu wa ushawishi, ya pili anataka kulipisha kisasi kwa Rais William Samoei Ruto, kwa sababu anataka kumwambia we lazima ukue mtu ambaye atakuwa rais kwa muhula mmoja. Na kwa nini? Kwa sababu wewe ulifanikisha mimi kung'atuliwa mamlakani. Sasa hizo ndio jambo ambalo anapigana nalo. Anataka kuhakikisha kwamba Mount Kenya iko nyuma yake 100%. Alafu pigo la pili atahakikisha kwamba amefanikisha maneno ya ile ya one term, sema kuna mula moja kwa Rais William Ruto. So hayo ndio nini, lakini kwa rais bado mimi naamini hataenda.
Sawa. Hey, itunga Kiswahili lakini sawa. Asante sana Bwana Benson.
Salimia Gypsy Corner.
Namsalimia na mimi kesho maybe nitakuja kuwasalimia huko Brother Benson. Waambie wasikilizaji watakupata wapi kwa kuangalia.
Mimi watanipata pale Brother Benson Media nikiwa na wenzangu, watoto wangu, mandugu zangu. Anaitwa Mako Bura yuko pale, Miguda yuko pale, niko na Barak pia na niko pia na Joseph mwenyewe. So tuko kikosi nzima. Tunatoa mawazo, hata naona huyu ndugu wangu anaitwa Rasta Leviti akuje huko asikize siasa.
Naam.
Brother Benson Media.
Hey, na hiyo Kiswahili yake sanifu.
Asante sana kaka. Unajua sisi ni wale ambao tulizaliwa Ujaluoni, tunasema hivyo. Na wakati hata Kiswahili ilikuwa inakuja na coast bus ikawacha hapo Kisumu. Ikawacha hapo Kisumu bus stop hapo. Sisi tuliingangania.
Mimi sasa hata nafikiri wewe ni MTZ.
Mi ni Mjaluo asili kutoka kuzaliwa, nimezaliwa Migori, lakini masomo yangu na labda kukua sana nimekuwa mji wa Kisumu. So mimi unapata ni mtu wa mji mbili, kaunti mbili, Migori na Kisumu. Lakini sasa pahali ambapo mimi nimekulia sana ni Kisumu, kwa sababu mimi nimeenda high school Kisumu na part of primary Kisumu.
Shule gani hapo Kisumu?
Nimeenda shule nyingine iko huko inaitwa Miwani Boys, nikatoka huko. Nikaingia katika shule ya KCA, kutoka KCA nikaenda Kim, kutoka Kim nikaingia Maseno. Sasa mimi
ni wapi KCA?
Kenya School of Accountancy. Unajua mimi hata hesabu niko mzuri. Alafu nikakuja nikafanya project management, nimefanya purchase and supply management. Sasa nikakuja nikafanya logistics. So mimi navaa kofia mingi sana pale unaniona hapa kakangu.
Naona. Haya, umesikia Gypsy? Msimcheze, anaweza kufanya hesabu hapa.
Okay, asante sana ndugu yangu. Mimi nakushukuru kwa muda ambao umenipatia. Unajua siku moja tena nikipata nafasi ndakuja kuingia na tupatiane mawazo letu kuhusiana na siasa ambao zinaenda nchini kwetu Kenya. Na jambo la mwisho kwamba Kenya ni nchi yetu, tunaipenda wote. Tukikosoa wewe usione kwamba hatukuheshimu, lakini tunajaribu tu ili tupate Kenya ambao kila mtu atafurahia. Asante sana kakangu.
Shukran. Nimeshukuru. Asante. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that was a Swahili session. Hata nimefundishwa Kiswahili sasa na Brother Benson. Swahili sanifu kabisa. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for Brother Benson and everybody else. Gypsy Corner pia hapo, Gypsy, umechukua notes? Unajua kuna zingine hata naenda kuangalia kwa kamusi, zilinipita, But anyway, guys, so everybody else who have been tuning in, people who are watching on X, people who are watching here on live, Gypsy Corner in the background, if you're going to watch this on repeat, thank you so much all. I'll leave it here. I'll come back tomorrow so we can have another session. I'll probably thank you, Gypsy. Thank you, Gypsy. I'll be away for a while. I'm going to a mission to find Gachagua. So I can interview him, okay? Gachagua or Matiang'i, okay? I'm trying to find them. So I'll be away for a while, ladies and gentlemen. I'll probably try to have a session tomorrow. But then after tomorrow, I probably won't be around for a minute. But thank you so much, guys, for being part of this, having part of this discussion or listening in. And if you're going to listen on repeat, please, you know the deal. Like the video, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff. And also go to Brother Benson's channel too. Do not forget, he has a nice channel. He comes in every day. Put the notification button every day. So when he pops in, you can always join in on the discussion there. They usually have a wonderful discussion and panelists over there. So do so. I won't disappear. I'll be back. Hasta la vista, baby. No, but yeah, I'll be back. I won't disappear. I'll be back, and we'll have more of this. I'm working on the background. I'm making some, I've gotten some consultation about some issues that are taking place about this channel and all this stuff that are going to be resolved. The culprits are going to be dealt with. So things are happening. I'm excited about the future, okay? But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for everyone who has been part of this. Have a blessed evening, day, morning, night, whatever you are, whether you're in Europe or whatever the case is. Again, subscribe, share, like, comment, and hit that subscribe button and the notification on. Thank you so much. Gypsy Corner, have a great night or morning or evening or afternoon or whatever the case is. I'll see you guys later. I'm Namnagan. Peace and blessings. I'm out.